This episode of SpectreSoundStudios is brought to you by Pro Mix Academy. Hey everybody, welcome to SMG Viewers Comments episode number 80. It's the end of January, let's get right to it.
Hey Glenn, I'm a sophomore in high school and I play guitar. I wanted some advice on how to avoid becoming the hometown hero, weekend warrior douchebag guitarist. You know, the 28-year-old guy in everyone's hometown who plays coffee house gigs a month and calls himself a professional guitarist on Facebook. Any feedback is appreciated.
The best advice I can give you is don't dabble. You know, if you're gonna do it for real. Make it your whole life. Yeah, make it your career. And don't be too good to play any gig. You know, never turn down a gig in my opinion.
I loved hanging out in London. Did you go on the Eye, Glenn?
Oh, hell no. First off, it looked fucking terrifying. And secondly, and this is more importantly, we walked down the south bank of the Thames on a Saturday and it was just crazy fucking busy. So we probably would have been there all day waiting to even get on the thing. So you know what? I had much more fun just walking around and checking out the whole south bank and seeing the scene down there. It was really fucking cool.
What is the drum set in this vid and how was it recorded?
The drum set is a DW Collector's Maple with a Ludwig Superphonic snare drum. And it was recorded with a whole bunch of mics and high quality gear. And you can check out how I did it on my show, How to Mix Heavy Drums. All the basic principles are there. You can learn how I do things. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to get into recording live drums.
Hey Glenn, I was planning to start some kind of mobile recording studio since I don't have the bucks nor the time to do this stuff full time, but my idea was, I got the mics, I got a large enough USB interface and a laptop capable to record multi-channels. So I go to the band's rehearsal room, record their stuff and gear, and give them the best possible master back. What do you think about this?
I think you're going to work about 10 times harder than you would if you had your own studio, and the bands aren't going to want to pay you what you're worth. I think that's what's going to happen. I tried doing a live rig a few years ago, and that's what I just found. You know, I'd try and go out and record, and nobody wanted to pay me for my work. They sure wanted it for free, though. So bear that in mind, because that's what you're going to be dealing with more than anything.
Here's a question. Let's put high-end analog gear and the best plugins side by side, like compressors, EQs, and stuff. The difference may be heard in the studio clearly, but can the average listener using small headphones and crappy speakers, etc. tell any? Is there expensive analog gear nowadays worth it?
It's not even, you know, a nowadays versus the old days thing. I mean, like you look at Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. That was a huge hit, and that was recorded basically in a really, really cheap studio. I think they did one take on it, and you can hear where the vocalist came in at the wrong time after the solo and just, you know, stops himself. It's a really interesting record to check out. So lo-fi has always had its place. A lot of the punk stuff in the 70s and early 80s wasn't very hi-fi. You know, a lot of the Washington, D.C. hardcore stuff in the early 80s was not very hi-fi at all either. So it really comes down to what do you want to accomplish? If you want to get your records out there, if you want to get your music out there, don't spend a lot of money. If you want to do a high fidelity recording, you can do that too. There's no rule when it comes to this, basically. I mean, like, I'm pushing myself to make better and better records, but you know what? If you're happy with more of the gritty kind of punk rock ethics when it comes to making records, hey, go for it. Just use real drums.
Hey Glenn, is that a Warthog joystick behind you? You play any flight or space sims?
Actually, that's an F-16 combat stick by CH Products, and yes, I do. I used to play Warbirds back in the 90s. I was part of the Spectre squadron, hence the name of the studios, Spectre Sound, and the channel SpectreSoundStudios. These days, I don't play too much. A couple years ago, I was playing Elite Dangerous quite a bit with Kevin Andresian from Dillinger Escape Plan, and we were having a lot of fun doing that. Elite Dangerous is really cool, and I want to get back more into it, but honestly, I'm so busy with YouTube these days, I just don't have a lot of time for playing a lot of games. But at some point, yes. Probably after I quit my day job, yes, I'll get back into playing, and I'll probably be flying in Elite Dangerous because it's freaking incredible. Also want to get an Oculus Rift for that because that just looks like it's going to be way too much fun. So hey guys, I'm very excited to bring you this week's sponsor, Pro Mix Academy. It's an online mixing school headed up by Warren Hewart, whose credits include Ace Frehley and Aerosmith. There's all kinds of mixing lessons available, and this month's project is none other than the song Electricity by Motorhead. If you've ever wanted to mix this legendary band, now is your chance. CAMERON WEBB takes you through this mix, breaks it down instrument by instrument, and teaches you how to put it all together. Pro Mix Academy lessons are available in my SMG shop. The link is in the description below. Check it out.
Have you got to the point where you can't go down to the supermarket for fear of being recognized and mobbed?
Who do I look like? PewDiePie? Come on, man. Really? No, that's cool. The only time I ever get stopped a lot is like at big music conventions like NAMM or AES or that sort of thing. But then again, I'm there for that reason and I'm there to say hi. So, I'm more than happy to do it.
How has your mixing technique changed since then, Glenn? I mean, things that are fundamental, not EQ tweaks, LOL.
Well, back then I was using Saw Studio, and then I kind of moved up to Reaper, and now I'm mixing on Mixbus, so there's a big change there. Mixbus definitely takes a much more colored approach to how mixing goes, and you can check my review that I just put out a couple days ago about that. How's things changed? I mean, like in terms, I have better drum mics first off. I've got, the 421s on the toms, those are outstanding. And I'm a lot more confident when it comes to miking guitar. It's kind of like now I know where to throw a mic up and how to dial in a sound a lot better than I would have, say, back in those days. So it all comes down to experience. The more time you put in, the more you know what to look for and what to avoid.
Glenn, what's your take on Thunderbolt connectivity? Do you think if they make small interfaces with Thunderbolt connectivity, it would completely replace USB and Firewire interfaces? I've ordered an Apogee Ensemble Thunderbolt and can't wait to try it.
I would really like to try out a Thunderbolt interface. Hint, hint, gear manufacturers. Seriously though, I hope to get some Thunderbolt stuff on the show very soon because I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great interface and I cannot wait to try out some of its capabilities. So I will keep you posted on that. As soon as something comes in, I will let you guys know.
What are your thoughts on stock Reaper plugins, EQ compression, etc.? Greetings from Serbia.
Greetings from Canada. I think the stock Reaper plugins are outstanding. I can't believe there's that much functionality and they're giving it away for free. The EQs are amazing. The multiband compressor is amazing and the noise reduction is amazing. I use that on every single video. I'm using it right now for this mic right here. Seriously. I use that all the time. Every single video I do. Yeah, I can't say enough good things. In fact, the Reaper plugins were my #1 pick for my top 5 free plugins ever. Yeah, Reaper stock plugins are absolutely unbeatable. Even if you don't use Reaper, go download them and put them in your dock because they're awesome.
Hey Glenn, would love to hear stories from the 80s. For instance, best concerts or meeting any rock stars in particular. Just some of your personal experiences would be cool. Keep doing you.
Didn't really get to meet any rock stars in the 80s. I didn't have a car. Didn't get to go to many shows. We would take the tunnel bus across to Detroit, go see shows at Kobo and that sort of stuff until they started doing stuff at the Palace in Auburn Hills. Actually, the best show I ever saw was in '88. Judas Priest played the Palace of Auburn Hills the week it opened, actually. And that was on the Ram It Down tour. Best show I ever saw. They were on fire that night. I don't know what they were doing, but man, they were doing it right. I'll tell you a story of the early 90s, and here's a story one thing I've always regretted. I remember my second year of college, so this would have been, summer 1990? Yeah, September 1990, actually. I remember Pantera's video for Cowboys from Hell. It just premiered on Much Music a couple weeks before, and I videotaped it, and I thought this was great because nobody knew who the fuck this band was and whatnot. A couple weeks later, I'm up in college, and I'm spending my day in Toronto, checking all the record stores on Yonge Street, and I'm walking up the street, and out pops Pantera out of an AMN Records, and they're all wearing Cowboys from Hell shirts, and it says on the back, check it out, this fucker's hot, or something to that effect. I just remember this fucker's hot and check it out. I can't remember what order that was in. Regardless, I think it was Dime and Vinny and Rex, and I was too much of a chicken shit to say hello. And, I didn't, then again, nobody knew who the fuck these guys were at the time. And, they hadn't put out the home videos. You didn't know how personable these guys were and how much time they took out of their day to spend time with the fans and shit like that. I had no idea. They were just a bunch of scary looking dudes. And, so I was, in my early 20s at the time and not quite out of my shell, shall we say. Yeah, I remember them just walking up, just wanted to say hi, like, hey, Pantera, and I'm just like too much of a chicken shit. And they walked up the streets and away they went into history, and they released, a couple of amazing albums and did all these amazing tours and all these incredible things. And Dimebag was such a great guitar player. And so that is my one regret for not fucking saying hello. So, so there you go. I still kind of kicked myself to the day for this one because, yeah, it would have been really nice to meet Dimebag, especially before they really hit it big. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. If you like the content, please support the channel either at my SMG shop or through my Patreon. If you want to see more, hit one of the playlists. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.